started talking about the possibility of treason and so on and so on. But then I wonder, when we pushed to occupy parliament and people actually occupied parliament, did they forget that parliament was still a protected area? Anyway, so they dissuaded people. People lost that spirit. The courage disappeared. I mean, it's just vaporized. Possibly if Cairo and Hanifa and several others had not tweeted and released videos about the same, possibly we would have occupied State House. But then I think that would be a wrong move uh, after reflecting about it, because as you know, Cyprian and everyone who is listening here, we do not have an IEBC in place. I mean, the current IEBC is not properly constituted. So we would have pushed the country to a power vacuum. Because if we would have ousted Ruto from power through protest without a proper IEBC, then I think we would not be in a position to hold elections, either by elections or general elections. So I'm proposing that, well, I understand we should go against the cabinet secretaries who've been fired.
Yeah.
We
As
should
you,
go against MPs who are rogue and governors and so on. But I think, Cyprian, as we push for that, we should not forget that we should push more for the IEBC than we push for, than we push for any other thing, because that is what is holding us back. If we had the IEBC in place, we would already have recalled those MPs who had voted yes for the finance bill. Because it means if we hadn't hit the streets, these guys would have been comfortable voting yes for a punitive tax bill. I mean, they were comfortable with it. So I think if we push for an hashtag that pushes for a reconstitution of the IEBC, basically pushing the president and all political stakeholders in this country to come together and to listen to us to push for an IEBC and for its constitution, because the president put up a selection panel as early as last year, February 2023. We already have an IEBC selection panel in place, but it has never proceeded with actually appointing commissioners.
true.
Sababu ya siasa ya kuvurutana hapa na pale. Raila wakes up today and is like, okay, I'm not comfortable with that selection panel. Kalonzo wakes up the next day, or Eugene or Jeremiah Kioni or someone, and decides, well, I'm going to frustrate the president because I feel the selection panel was biasly constituted, and so on. Siasa ya kuvurutana, we've never had the IBC in place. It's quite unfair to people who've lost their MPs and to constituents in constituencies zenye kumekuwa na election malpractices. They do not have an MP in place,
Yeah,
so they are actually
they are
suffering
actually,
as citizens.
they have not held elections in 2 years. James, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. So
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 it, quite unfortunate. But
yeah.
yes, yes.
So just to wind up, James, give us your final thoughts as we proceed to the next speaker, because the list is long. The guys are killing me. Let's kindly wind up.
I understand, Cyprian. So I'm saying, as the top influencers, wewe Cyprian, akina Kimuzi, akina Anifa, Cairo, we can all come together to one hashtag and push for a reconstitution of the IBC. As we push for the to hold to account the CSS who've been fired, we should push for one hashtag that pushes for the reconstitution of the IBC. That way we can recall MPs. That way we can even recall the president and impeach him, because hata acha power vacuum, because the president is supposed to confirm the appointed commissioners. I mean, he's supposed to parliament is supposed to confirm the appointed commissioners, and the president is supposed to assent to the commissioners. So if we occupied State House to throw a president without an IBC, we would go to a situation of anarchy. So that is my honest opinion.
Thank you. Thank you. So you've raised some very interesting questions. I'm sure that's why when we began, I tried to invite some legal experts. I don't know if you're a legal expert and you're in this space. As you can see today, we the citizens need lots of answers from you guys, because we are trying to deliberate on the best, not just the way forward, but the best way forward. Which, for one, I mean, guys, we have to agree we do not want any more of these killings. I mean, we've lost our loved ones. We've seen so much brutality. We do not want any of these things happening. But the movement must go on. So what's the best way to keep the movement alive? So as I introduce the next speaker, I will urge, if you're a legal expert, DM me, send me a DM, text me on the side. I would really want you guys on the panel so that we can get to answer questions like the ones James just asked us. So, yes. So the next speaker, again, please, let's try and... I know we all have a lot on our chest to get off, but we try and just work on that time limit. So the next speaker...
Cyprian, can I interrupt you? So before you pass on the speakership to another person, niko tu na message kidogo to Kimuzi. I see Kimuzi here and Bravin. Kimuzi and Bravin and any other big influencer hapa. Mkituona kwa spaces zenu, give us a chance to speak our mind. Mnapeaga your friends hapo around. It is quite unfair. It's just that on a light note.
Okay, thank you very much, James. This is a citizens' assembly. Here, anyone is allowed to talk. Anyone is allowed to speak. We will, however, not get into very personal discussions. We do not want to belittle this movement into discussions about social media influencers and whatnot. You know, as we go forward, the people who are for the movement, they will stay for the movement. Those who are not for the movement, well, good for them. But we must stay focused. We will just move forward with the guys who want to move forward with us. So, again, thank you very much, James. So, kindly, next speaker, I'm going to give it to MJ254. You can take over. Kindly try and be as brief as you can, my brother.
Okay, thank you, Cyprian. Asante sana.
Okay.
Thank you, Faith, for also hosting this platform. I'm going to be very, 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 very brief. Mine is very simple. How do we get the bank accounts of these CSs frozen immediately? I know we've talked about them leaving office and we've talked about recovery, but nobody's talking about what we're supposed to be doing right now. Mukomen, wherever he is right now, he's moving money. He's moving millions right now. That one I can guarantee you. I've had fights with Mukomen since 2016. He blocked me in 2018. Huyu msee, I can bet my life on it. Zile pesa amemove leo hata hamwezi ongelelea. We need to find out. That's why Cyprian, thank you for saying that, because I see a few lawyers here. Can we file something in the court? I mean, today is already too late. By Monday, I don't know if the judges want, some kind of evidence or something. I don't know if you can have an urgent something filed in court. I'm not a lawyer. Something filed in court immediately, like on Monday, and their bank accounts are frozen on Tuesday on grounds of suspicion of stealing taxpayer money. So that's what I really want to know, because these guys, unajua uwezi jua kile Mukomen aliongea na Ruto. Labda Ruto alimwambia wacha nikutoe kidogo, alafu wacha mambo itulie, but you still get to keep your bank accounts, you still get to keep the money that you stole. So the only thing that's going to hurt these guys is freezing their bank accounts. So my only question is this: kuna mtu anajua what we can do that immediately, like by Monday? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike, for your remarks. So I'm informed that we have Manwa on the call. The council member Ellis is on this space and wants to share a few words with us. So kindly, sir, you're gonna request the mic. I'll try and find you in the long list of requests. But in the meantime, kindly allow me to let the next speaker take over for now.
Cyprian, hold on.
So, Mr.
Just a second. Can you ask if somebody has the answer to that, please? What I asked.
Okay, I'm trying to get a legal expert in the call.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, yes. Same as the other question by James will also as well be answered as soon as we've got a legal expert in the call, whom we are trying to get into the call right now. So, Elkanah, kindly proceed as I find these good sir over here.
Thank you so much for the platform. I've been listening in and great ideas from everybody. So I want to begin by also sharing my condolences to the fallen comrades. I'm tuning in from Kigali. I'm based in Rwanda. So I think mine is a bit more in two folds, and I'll be very brief. So you asked about our thoughts about the movement in general. From my own perspective, I would say it is a transformative movement. It's just not. It's not just about Kenya anymore. It's more like it's just an opening of a transformative era where we are seeing many youth, not only within Kenya, but across Africa, because the situation we are facing in Kenya, it's not just unique to Kenya. Poor governance, corruption, and all that is very consistent in the continent, and it's something that Kenya has shown some sort of a way, and also awakened young people all over Africa. So I would say it is a very transformative movement. And with regards to what's happening, the changes we are seeing, yes, it's important that we go celebrating the small wins we get along the way, because they're usually a fuel to our motivation, but not to lose focus. At all in terms of what the main goal is. So on my end, I think one thing I wanted to mention is that it's I've been joining these multiple spaces discussing it throughout this movement for the past 3 weeks. I was even in Kenya last week. Last week, I was fortunate to experience this Sunday concert, but I think it is evident that everybody wants accountability. Lakini the conversation has kept on going to, we want accountability from our leaders. Lakini there's also an element of where we are not doing a lot in terms of brainstorming. What are those, like the ideas in terms of how. And I think when it comes to, it is important to recognize that when it comes to matters of shida ya lack of accountability and corruption, it's beyond just at our leaders nanini. It is so deep rooted. I know I don't live in Kenya as of now, but we all can agree that corruption, it's see leaders way to peke yao. Like, it's so deep in a way that even at the grassroots level, everywhere you go. I mean, I never understood why I had to get flight when I'm trying to renew my passport, only to get my flight to go follow up. I queue at Afya Center and spend days. And yet I know that, Kenya is that place where it's a powerhouse, it's a tech powerhouse. And I'm like, come on, a tech powerhouse. Is this the only thing that they've failed to fix? But we all know that Ikitu, it has gone too deep in a way. It has become sort of a culture. Like, I think it's important, when we are talking about accountability, yes, on the macro level, the movement is doing very well in terms of let's push for the system, let's push for that. But also it's good to reflect on our contribution to this whole culture about about corruption and lack of accountability. I mean, how often do you drive kwa road and you break a rule, then police anakusimamisha, then unamwambia hata utampecha even before they ask for it. It means that we also need to start acknowledging the smallest things. And for the people who've read kitabu Atomic Something, we understand the contribution of the smallest things that we, like small things.